a great pleasure to introduce another senator who we've worked with on so many issues. I actually started to write down all the issues that we've worked together on, that you've been a champion for older adults in New York State. So it's not surprising that you're with us today to help us again in the good fight to stop RX greed. So I want to introduce Senator David Carlucci. ARP members know him very well because, again, we've stood up here so many times to fight for the good. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, good morning. Again, I'm Senator David Carlucci. I represent Rockland and Westchester counties, and it's an absolute honor and a privilege to be here. And first, I just want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank AARP for standing up and fighting for everyone in our community. Obviously, we say older Americans, we say retired persons, but you're helping everyone in our community. I have small children, and one of my children has an allergy. And we've had to carry an EpiPen with us wherever we go. And I'm sure there's many people here that know of someone or has to carry an EpiPen. And I was alarmed back a couple years ago when we found out when the auto-injector, the epinephrine auto-injector that was put out by Mylan back in 2007 was available for under $100. Fast forward 10 years later, it's over $600. And the stories that we heard from Assemblyman Gottfried and Senator Biaggi, I've seen it in my office. Every week there's people that come into my office that are put down to tears because they're struggling to find the money to pay for medications for themselves and worse, for their children. Mothers in my office brought to tears because they couldn't afford an EpiPen and were worried about what to do. And so we've seen this. I wish the auto EpiPen was the only example, but it's not. We could go through a long list of examples of where pharmaceutical companies have gotten their hands on a drug and have skyrocketed the price. We saw Daraprim, a drug that was available to people for about $13.50. Torig, the pharmaceutical company, got their hands on that, and what did they do? Because there was no generic like it on the market, $750 practically overnight. Now, to me, if it looks like price gouging, if it feels like price gouging, if it smells like price gouging, it probably is price gouging. But is this price manipulation illegal in New York State? No. No, surprisingly, it's not. When you look close at the laws, we're helpless. They could really charge us whatever they want, and they have. Thousands of dollars, people having to make decisions about paying their rent or paying for their pharmaceutical drugs. It's wrong, and it's got to stop, and these are the tools that will take us there to lower the cost of prescription drugs. So the legislation that I'm sponsoring, and I'm so grateful to have your support, is to give the Attorney General the tools to take these actions to court and say, hey, no, you can't price gouge our residents. You can't price gouge our citizens. We will take you to court and hold you accountable. Look, you see the news today. Our Attorney General has been smart and wise and has entered into a multi-state action lawsuit against the pharmaceutical industries. For what? Colluding. They've said that these companies, they've listed dozens, have been conspiring together to raise prices on us, to manipulate the prices, and it takes a conspiracy charge to bring it to court. Well, I'm glad that they're bringing it to court, but we need more tools in our toolbox. We need to make sure when price gouging occurs that we can take it to court, we can settle it and end this practice in New York State. Let's be the leaders. If our federal government is not going to act, let's act here in the Empire State. Let's pave the way for other states to follow, and let's truly make prescription drugs affordable and accessible in New York State. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get it done. Thank you.